average.
And
Oh boy. There we are. We seem to be going live. Fantastic. Welcome everybody to another session with the Trimmed Hedges. Last session they had themselves a bit of a jamboree inside of Ravensbridge. So we'll go straight into the recap of that session, starting with Estrella.
We started our assault on Ravensbridge to free it from the forces of evil. And went to Severn first. We fought there. We talked to them. And then went on to a graveyard on our way, where we fought even more undead. So yeah, a lot of fighting. No one died so far. Marcel.
Yeah, except we saw the female captain of our friendly companies getting killed by someone with a black sword, which the clockwork lady that just showed up and showed us the ropes told us to just run from. So there's that. That fight in the graveyard, it took a lot out of us, but we're still standing and running away in a heroic kind of way. Or what do you say, Sarah?
Well, I wrote like 2 pages of exposition, and everyone had really long, complicated names like Fritz Menches Flusteren. And I do recommend that you check out the YouTube and watch all of that, because there was a ton of lore drops on the portals and what's going on in the city. Other than that, yeah, the important bits have been covered, except for what happened to our fearless wizard, Eodi.
oh yeah, so Eodi was kind of chilling in the inn, and then kind of got drawn to a man in the corner of the inn, very average-looking individual with really crazy green eyes. And then things kind of popped off, and all of a sudden he was talking to a giant green dragon. I think Shaggy said his head was like 4 wagons wide or something like that. He was ginormous. He was kind of offended that Eodi was calling himself a dragon. Kind of made fun of his horde a little bit. That's a lot of fridges confirmed. And then in the end, he kind of gave him an ultimatum of sorts. He gave him a book made from the skin of one of his grandchildren that upset him, and told him he had 2 years to read it and get it all figured out. And then he was like, you're gonna bring me something. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but you're gonna bring it to me, or I'm going to kill you, and then I'm gonna bring you back, and I'm gonna kill you again, etc. Which was, terrifying. So Mr. Eodi is frantically reading a book, attempting to figure out what it is he needs to do to not become dragon snacks. And after that, we had that cool fight. There was some double lightning bolt shenanigans, which was real cool. Ed dropped one, then I dropped one, and the fight kind of just escalated after that. It was a good time. And then we watched somebody get disintegrated, and we were running in terror. And I'll kick it over to Medor.
Yes. Once we got into the inn, we headed our way up toward the graveyard, or cemetery, however you want to call it. We were informed that something about we had to get to the orphanage before the orphanarium until before the possessed get there, which we don't actually know what that meant. But right now we're fighting our way up to the orphanage, and we were told we have to try and get into the keep because there's a gem, I believe, or a stone that is very good against undead. We need to protect it and hopefully save it from these undead hordes. Let's see. I think that's about it. Let's head over to Marisol.
I've already gone.
Okay, Adamir. I got nothing to add. Anybody else not gone?
Yep.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, the Thorn Treasures, as we are no doubt going to be named at some point, we had only two things that happened that I want to add. Hasn't been talked about much. That is, in the inn, they have a flesh golem. The flesh golem that we set free, as doing dishes, which is kind of liberal for a inn. But hey, yeah. So I slipped him a note, basic tenements of the Men of Clay, and I thought that was a good starting point for a creature that basically starts out fresh. Just a little bit of support. I'm not trying to recruit him. I'm basically just making sure that he has a good set of life rules. But also, I want to note that yet again, our sneaky scout and spy managed to get herself into trouble on the side. Surrounded by 6 people. And somehow you got out of there. Making me inherit all of them, which is very thankful. We gotta think about this, Estrella. God dang it. Over to Magnus.
Yeah, not a lot to add, apart from the flesh golem that Preacher kindly mentioned. It said that he was once like Magnus and then handed him a very rather special saber with a guard like a rose bush. Roses seems to be a running theme in our weapons recently. He told Magnus that he had to take it up and protect Passion before he wandered off back to the kitchen. I think everything else has been covered, and everyone's gone, so I think it's back to Shoggy.
Yeah, you guys have heroically advanced in the other direction from the gaunt, not very healthy looking lady with the black khopesh that disintegrated Captain Karin. Your fallback through the city streets has actually been fairly unhindered. You've noticed there's still a lot of people alive inside of various houses and inns that seem to have managed to either stay down or the undead just haven't gotten to yet. Currently, you've actually reached the large compound known as the Orphanarium. You're just on the outskirts of it. You've heard plenty of explosions and great big kabooms from the area that you fell back from. And you can't see any of your mercs having followed you this far in. Though the reason for that is unclear currently. So right now you're cut off, and it's really up to you how you want to proceed. But you can hear gunshots, actual gunfire, like the sounds that Marisol's weapon make, from inside of the compound.
I suggest we check that out.
Well, if you say so, you're the leader.
Are we just gonna go charging right in?
Does anybody know of a good way in here? I've never been here before.
No, this is my first time in Ravensbridge as well, so I'm lost.
I don't quite know. I can't remember if there was what is the best way.
I've been around in the Raven's Bridge a bit, but I don't know if I've been in this particular quarter.
And none of you actually have. The orphanarium was being built last time you were at Ravensbridge.
And it already has like hundreds of kids? Jeez.
It was a consolidation, recall.
Well, how about the gate? Or do you suggest we climb over? Or but those gunshots seems like a place to be.
Rather the gunshots and those big bangs behind us. Aye.
Can I say something about what kind of weapon that those gunshots are from?
That's an interesting question. We'll give you a lore warfare on that. As you are a gunslinger. Sounds like old-fashioned flintlock pistols.
Those are pistols. They won't hold up for long if what they have in there is anything like what we've met out here.
You're noticing, though, that the rate of fire for flintlock pistols is way too high. And from the sound of it, it's one person firing them.
And also, I really want to see those weapons because they sounds pretty awesome.
Does anybody want to climb up on the roof and take a look around?
Sure, I can do that. Preacher, give me a lift.
I can turn into
Absolutely.
a tree.
Zara will scale the building.
Lift.
Right. So Estrella is climbing. I'm just gonna put you next to the building where you'll get line of sight, but I don't actually have roofs made for these. And same with Zara, but I'm gonna need if you're trying to be stealthy, I'm gonna need a stealth from you.
Of course.
Very stealthy. So we'll put Zara up here and Estrella up here. What you see, or the two of you see, is you see a flying lady, very beautiful, with blackened armor covered in leering skulls and shapes, black raven's wings, and a bow firing flaming arrows. Share the picture there. And she seems to be fighting a. See, do any of you actually have vision to her currently? Yeah, you do, because that bush is not vision obscuring. She seems to be fighting a lady that's seen better days. Dressed in fairly modern ebon coaster garb, but you're noticing that she is somewhat full of holes. Some of them definitely not survivable, as you can see through her head, for example. But she's surprisingly spry for somebody who's been shot up that much, sprinting and dodging and firing her guns. In the background, you see a young girl, maybe in her mid-teens, up on the corner to the northeast of the little garden, just peering around the corner. Long black purplish hair in a bob, wearing a black and white dress with a white frilly collar and sleeves.
Psst, hey, what do you guys see over there?
Quite an amazing battle, but I can't really make out who's winning.
Can you make out who's good?
Partly? I mean, So far, the undead have been our enemies, but looks can be deceiving. I don't know about this other person with the wings and flaming bow.
Can I do a recall knowledge on the flying individual?
Yeah, you have low light, and she's got a flaming bow, so I'm gonna call that you can actually see her. Yeah, the one flying around, that is an Erinus, a fury devil. You have no idea how she's gotten to be around here. You haven't seen any other devils. But, yeah, the Erinus are, well, known for being corruptors because they, unlike most devils, they don't look like devils. They can pass for angels or other more benign divine beings for anybody who doesn't know better.
Can I make out anything else that could tell us who's fighting for which side?
If you give me a perception roll, you might be able to.
I gave you a perception roll.
There we are. Well, you're noticing there's a lot of undead bodies on the ground. Most of them have holes in them. But whether it's from arrows or from bullets, difficult to tell from your vantage point currently.
I would need to get closer to say who killed all these undead.
Well, you are the master of stealth.
Sure enough.
I suppose the plan should be to kill the undead that we know is our enemy and see what happens with the devil afterwards. However, we might have found ourselves a three-way fight here.
That's very possible.
Only if we get involved.
Well, unless Estrella and Zara can see a way around them, we might have to get involved in one side or the other.
Let's just walk past. Whoever attacks us, we attack them back.
We could try that.
Marisol, you want to get an advantage point up here?
That is an excellent suggestion.
Yeah.
Could you help me up to the roof, Peter?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Estrella assists from up the roof.
While they're doing that, I'm just going to begin walking through the courtyard.
I'm just sliding to the corner of the building. I'm not going on the roof.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna try to be on the roof to have a good sniping point.
Oakley dokley. Where do you want to be on the roof?
Behind Estrella there, basically.
All right. So we're gonna put you where Estrella is, but we'll know that you're on the roof. You won't get line of sight to anything if you're
If I'm
where
inside.
you were. Nope. Preacher's creeping up. What's Medora and Magnus doing?
How is the roofs up here? Is it possible to run across it, or is it?
They've got some fairly slanted shingled roofs. Actually, this orphanarium's newly built and of pretty nice quality. Must have gone a lot of money in here. You can see the you're entering the courtyard right now, but the main compound is basically starting up at the cluster of buildings to the north. If you want to enter where the dormitories for them would be, there's some children's toys spread around on the ground here, and you can also see now that you're on the roof, the bodies of maybe 1 or 2 dozen nuns wielding any weapons they've managed to lay their hands on. Basically, they've put up a good fight, but quite obviously didn't win it.
What are those red things?
Out of your line of sight currently. Actually,
Even from the roof?
From the roof. No. Math. You're forcing me to do math. I hate it. No, you see two creatures actually lurking behind that bush that look like flayed bodies,
Ugh.
wriggling and moving around. They don't move like you would expect a flayed body to do. It looks like they're more moving along the veins and blood vessels than using any muscle.
Ugh, nice.
And yeah, you can actually also see a young boy in a black and white dress, or black and white, not dress, but like young pilgrim's boy's attire with a hat. You see 4 of him, and he seems to be blurred out as well. Very difficult to get a good handle on exactly where he is.
Huh. Mage of some sort. Well, I'm gonna just aim at one of the red dudes and hold my fire until we start this.
Okay, so seems Edamir is wanting to move, so pull your movement up again, sir.
I'm just walking through the courtyard.
Yeah, in fox form, I assume.
Yeah, always.
See, and what's your bonus to stealth in your fox form?
Oh, I'm not stealthing.
Oh, you're not stealthing at all.
No, I said, like, I'm just going to walk through and whatever attacks, we attack back.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not stealthing. I have a bright light around my neck.
Estrella is also moving forward. She's actually crawling along the roof at full speed. So she's trying to stay low using 2 actions.
Okay, I've got Tiny Dog here is kind of going crazy. Are we
How
because
tall
we
is
have to
this building?
get up for a moment? The building you're at right now, you can't go there, Estrella. There's a wall in the way. Building here is about 3 stories tall, the one to your left. I'm assuming Estrella wanted to go roughly here.
Yeah.
There we are.
I'm going to yell up, "Hey, pretty angel demon winged lady thing. Are you good or bad?"
He's done it again.
She sneers at Edamir, like, try to make yourself useful, druid. Doesn't matter if I'm good or bad, I'm the one defending this place, am I not? She fires another arrow off towards the undead lady that's jumping about. As that's shouted, the 2 creatures right next to Zara start moving. You've obviously been rumbled. And it is actually Zara starting off at the highest initiative.
I'm going to move here. I suppose a half square backwards. And then I'm going to scamper down the side of the building.
Gotcha.
I have assurance and athletics and acrobatics.
Yeah, there's no issue for you scampering down. Just gotta glide down one of the, those little rail things they have for water.
With 45 feet of movement, could I do that in one move?
I'm gonna say it costs you double to climb down unless you have any feats that allow you to climb at normal speed. Luckily, the building you want to get down from is just 2 stories, so it's gonna cost you 1 move to get down from it.
So I've got 1 action left to move adjacent to this guy.
You'll have 1 action when you're adjacent to the gentleman.
Then I will use that action to do my esoteric knowledge on him.
Very well. And that's a human. And he looks to be a wizard.
Well, I am now his anthema.
Gotcha.
And that'll be my turn.
Right. This thing here scrambles up. Let's measure the movement, Shoggoth. There we are. Moving up to here up on its several blood vessels. And it is going to try to punch Zara. And places a bloody handprint onto her chest. And then it is going to try to punch her again. That is another hit. Smacks Zara for 13 damage, and let me see what your... it is trying to grab her as well, but fails in grabbing her. She manages
Can
to
you say
twist
that
free.
damage number again?
13. 1-3.
Okie doke.
Yeah. Erinius fires off some more bow shots towards the the enemy, the undead gunslinger. One of them, as her wing gets clipped as she's shooting, and the arrow goes straight into the ground, right in front of Edamir. You can smell overpowering smell of brimstone from the arrow, but she does manage to tag the gunslinger. You guys are not necessarily fighting, but definitely not necessarily friends with either. That takes us to Yodi.
Ooh-wee. Let's see, I will go there. I'm going to double move, and I'll go to this other corner here. And then I'm going to watch how this plays out. So I'll just end my turn there.
Gotcha. In that case, it is Preacher.
Okay. Action 1. Start up my flame stance so I can run a bit faster.
Very well.
Then I'm going to do a little bit of shenanigans because I'm going to run up to that point, and I'm not done yet with the move. Up this wall. How high is the wall?
This is a big, tall building, probably 45 feet high.
No problem. That's a move action up there, 50 feet.
Gotcha. I'll place you on the corner, but we know you're on the roof.
And from there, I'm going to do the final one. It's 50 feet up there.
Right. So Preacher's just sprinting over the roof.
I don't know if you want me to do an acrobatics or something, athletics, to basically transition the.
It's gonna be a DC 10 athletics to run over that roof because it's shingled. It's sort of moist. You could always fall, but it's highly unlikely. There we are. So Preacher
Done.
sprinting up. Let's see. And you see, let's see, well, it actually gets there. Yep. Another one of the creatures comes sprinting from up out of the darkness. And is now close to Zara. It is Estrella's turn.
Well, there is one very clear enemy in front of us that already attacked Zara. So, Estrella, let's really hope that my dice don't betray me here. I can ignore up to 50 feet of height due to my catfall. So, what I want to do is I want to surprise the enemy here by trying to jump onto him, pushing him to the ground, and attack.
Okay then. Interesting. Roll your. That's just gonna be straight up be an attack because you're just jumping on him.
All right then. Yeah. It's no ghost, so I'm going to use my Piranha Kiss, of course.
Right, that is a hit.
Is he flat-footed against me, so I get my sneak attack?
He is. Yeah, you hit him. A normal, pretty much anything smaller than a giant would have been flat on its ass. But as you hit him, he kind of leans backwards, and you can see dozens of veins from his legs just punch into the ground and just yank him back upright like one of those wacky inflatable sales dolls.
Hey, that's not nice of you. And then I will. Where is it? Yeah. That was one. Then I want to change position immediately to get another flat-footed against him by tumbling behind once and attacking again.
Okay, give us an acrobatics. Your dice are with you today. That is a success.
And here is my attack.
That, however, that's a hit. He's flat-footed.
Woohoo! So, here we go again.
So you come up and slash him. You're noticing that he's not being cut the way you'd assume living or even undead flesh would be cut. Yeah, the knife's going in, but all the blood vessels are moving about and the veins aren't being cut. You're cutting into muscle and fat, but
Is it
not
the
really
acid
hitting
doing... Yeah, is it the
anything
acid
big.
doing anything?
Acid seems to be working just fine.
Good. Yeah, that's my turn.
That's your turn. It is now his turn, actually. And he reaches out and places a bloody handprint onto Estrella's shoulder.
Nimble dodging.
That doesn't work.
Okay.
And then, let me check Estrella's armor class here. She dodges one blow, but not the second, and is punched for 17 damage. And she is also grabbed. He's got a good hold of her arm, having wrapped a lot of just veins and blood vessels around her upper arm. And it's now Magnus's turn.
Okay. No, Magnus is just going to stay on the ground and run into the courtyard. Two. And a third. There we go. That's his move.
Okay. And again, another one of them comes sprinting out of the darkness. You can see him closing in very fast, about the speed of a light, good sprinter or a fast dog.
You can just cancel that move out. I'm sorry, I was trying to measure shit.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So, yeah, the lady over in the darkness. So you can hear her her laughing, like, and firing her guns. Oh my! At the Irenaeus. And it doesn't seem like she actually cares about things like, regular old reloading, because those guns are speaking pretty quickly. And Irenaeus shrieks out as two more bullets tear into her. You can see she's been hit a couple of times already, so she's whatever unholy defenses she has against being hit don't seem to actually be doing much against this creature. Let's see. And see, Magnus, Edamir, Iodi, and Preacher notice a glow as from a roaring bonfire, but moving, seeming to come from this direction and moving in that direction. Where I'm pulling out the old ruler, if you all can see it. I'm hoping you can.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
It's very
Sorry.
faint north.
Yeah, it's all the
in
way up there.
darkness.
Yeah, it's one more street up from. Anyway, it's coming from northeast and moving west. Okay. You can hear a shrill young girl's voice shout, "Stay away from my brother!" And out of the darkness, purplish orbs of pure force smack into Zara for 9 force damage. Meanwhile, this bro is going to move up here. I
That
assume
provokes an attack of opportunity.
yes, that's a flat DC 5 because of the blur. See how you like it. Nope.
I'm going to miss.
And then let me check here. Boom, 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 boom. There we are. That's a DC 24. That's a DC 24 reflex save for Sara and Estrella as he casts a lightning bolt. So that is Zara takes no damage, completely dodging it. But Estrella is hit full on for 21 electricity damage.
She screams in pain.
Zap. Right, it is now Mador's turn.
Right, I'm gonna try to get up into the fray.
Well, don't sound so enthusiastic about it. There we are.
First move.
Second move. Do have one more action.
Third move.
Third move. Mador actually recognizes some of the nuns on the ground here. A lot of them are completely unknown to him, but he recognizes two elderly ladies, now probably humans in their 70s, who've fought with pitchforks, it looks like. Not the nicest nuns he ever met, but not one some of the horrible ones either. They were okay. Turned a blind eye towards all the bad shit that was happening, but didn't participate in it themselves. And he also sees one of the good ones that tried to shield him from the bullshit growing up on the ground there with a bullet hole straight between her eyes. An elderly lady in her 60s that's been dual-wielding rolling pins, it looks like, up until the point where somebody shot her in the head.
It definitely looks like a bullet hole.
Very definitely. You've seen enough bullet holes traveling with Marisol to recognize one when you see one.
Very well.
Mador is, as a fighter, is very good at recognizing different injuries caused by weapons. You can't say if it's lethal or not, usually, but, going through the head, don't have to be a doctor to be fairly confident that that's going to be what killed her. And it's definitely a bullet hole. Speaking of bullet holes, it is Marisol's turn.
Well, I already had aim on the one fighting Estrella there.
That you did.
And I miss.
Oh dear. I'm going to need a DC 23 reflex save from Estrella. Yep, Estrella dodges it. And I'm going to need a DC 10 athletics from Marisol to not fall, as one of the wet shingles between her legs slides and throws her aim off. Well, she easily stays up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna curse pretty heftily. And then run across the roof while reloading.
Very well. That's going to be another DC 10 athletics for running across shingled roof.
Athletics or acrobatics?
I'll let you choose.
It doesn't really matter.
Do you want to be fancy about it, or are you just trying to look cool while jogging? It still works out. Yep, now Marisol is in the position that there's probably another 30 feet that need climbing to get up onto the next roof. So that's a much taller and bigger building.
Okay, I am not gonna do that now, but I'm gonna shoot once more at the one I used to be aiming at.
Yeah, currently you don't have line of sight to him because there's a huge honking building in the way.
Right. Then I wouldn't have moved there, but still.
It's the first time on the round on the battlefield, so we'll let you move back.
Nah, I'll start climbing up. I want to get higher.
Right. Give us a DC 15 athletics then. Yeah, it's gonna take this move and half of your next move to get up.
Okay.
I think Mador wanted to say something.
The two kids, they're in the uniforms of the orphanage.
It's an orphanage uniform. Of that you're certain. You're not certain if it's the one from the new orphanarium, because they could have gotten new uniforms. You haven't seen this one before, but it's in the style of.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Uniforms. Yes. Speaking of uniform, one that's very happy to conform all of the time. It's Edemir's turn.
I'm going to move up to there. Ah, there's that friggin' lady. Still talking to the flying lady. Be like, I don't know much about angels and demons, but if there's one thing I do know, Apollo says that all undead are bad, and those who control them are too. But should we be afraid about that bonfire thing moving up there in the streets? And that's my turn.
Yeah, as Edamir says that, you can see the Arinus turns her head and you don't understand the language as she speaks Infernal, but the general lip and body language of somebody saying "oh shit" is still very recognizable. It is Zara's turn.
Fabulous. Zara will flicker her mirror and make a duplicate of herself here. She will then intensify her vulnerability thing. Words. She will make Lucius have to strike against Blur if he targets Zara again, and then she is going to attempt the bonkening.
The bonkening. Oh no, that's a flat DC 5 against his Blur. Oh, thought you were gonna roll another 3. That is a hit. Roll a D4 for me, please. On a 4, you hit him, and otherwise, it's one of the mirror images disappears. As the great poet Ice-T would have said, whack. Speaking of whacking, this creature is going to move after Zara and try to punch her. She easily blocks the first attack and the second. The devil flies, so she's kind of hovering over Edamir and goes, I don't know you know anything about an ash cloud with a bow, but we have one moving in. And then she shoots at the undead gunslinger again, hitting her once. Which takes us to Iodi.
I'm gonna go over here and step in front of Magnus.
Gotcha.
And I'll go ahead and do the wizard jutsu and drop a lightning bolt directly in front.
Through those two happy bros there. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that is a DC 29, is it?
27, I think.
Oh! Well, that is a critical fail for one of them. And the other one saves.
Yeah, it's a 27.
Yeah, one of them takes it straight through the bollocks, and the other one kind of dodges. See, he's moved. Yeah, it's this guy. Definitely not particularly resistant to lightning. You can see blood kind of fizzling out and steam coming out of some of their exposed veins. Speaking of steam engines, it is Preacher's turn.
All right. So, we're going to try a little bit of special thing. We're going to try a Hulk pile driver leaping down there using Catfall and hopefully helping him to a bit of my falling damage that I'm mitigating, applying it to him with an overhead, basically two-handed smack.
Preacher smash. Gotcha.
Exactly. And if I'm reading the rules correct, Quinn, 40-foot drop is from that roof. Should be roughly 35 divided by half, 17 extra damage.
Well, it's up to you whether you want to mitigate the damage by landing softly or if you want to give it to him, but you're also going to take it yourself by landing hard.
No, we're going to do the catfall then.
Right.
So
Preacher lands ninja style behind him, one hand to the ground, the other out balancing, and then it's
smash time.
So Smaschenzeit, as they say in Germany.
Yeah, flare blows on that guy. Second one is the grab.
2 hits, but he does manage to resist your grab.
Ooh. So I'm gonna hit him for damage then.
It's very difficult to actually get a good hold of these guys because their blood vessels and veins keep shooting out of their bodies to kind of cheat when it comes to wrestling.
I'm doing 3 extra fire damage from my aura by touching them, but only once per turn.
Yeah, he does not seem to be resistant to fire either. You cauterize some of those annoying veins, slapping at Creature's face.
Hit him once to end my turn.
That is a miss.
Okay. I'm done.
Very well. This guy here is going to... let me check here. Oh yeah, they're pretty acrobatic. He tries to move nimbly to corner Zara, but Preacher is going to get an attack of opportunity. And so will Zara, because he's moving through a threatened square with a pretty poorly executed jump.
Zara only has attacks of opportunity against the person that she marks with her exploit vulnerability.
Gotcha. Preacher, however, hits and punches him. For a pretty solid punch as well.
That's an additional 3.
There's a wet smack and a bit of a sizzle, as if putting a steak into a very hot pan. But he is still going to try to smack Zara. Completely failing on the first attempt, but on the second, he does punch her, but does not manage to actually grab hold to her. That's 19 bludgeoning damage for Zara. Estrella, it is you.
Yep. And Estrella is attacking the one holding her with her knife.
That is a miss.
And she's trying to wiggle free, of course. She doesn't like to be held.
Right. Give us an escape artist then.
Guess that would be acrobatics for Estrella.
Yes. She does manage to wriggle free. Costs her an action.
Yeah. And then she is moving backwards to our fighters. She needs to get out of there.
Right. And the one that she jumped is simply going to follow her. Comes running after her. It's sort of weird because his legs are moving, but they're not really hitting the ground. It's just hundreds of blood vessels that he's kind of flowing up on instead. And he is... he seems hell-bent on getting better acquainted with Estrella. That is a hit. Are you going to nimble dodge that?
No, I'm counting on something else this round.
Very well.
Take a liberating step.
That is 18 damage, and she is grabbed again.
Even if I do the step he's giving me?
I'm going to say that a liberating step helps against being grabbed, sort of in the name. So that lets her get move 10 feet, and she only takes 9 damage from the punch. It is Magnus's turn.
Okay. Magnus caught Mador looking at the nuns and says, Someone you know.
Never you mind. We have a battle here.
Right, suit yourself. And he runs towards the undead lady. And that's all three.
Okay, the other creature here is going to run down after Estrella. Whoop. Get out of that bush. And tries to punch her once. Yes, fancy grounds any moment now.
Oh,
But
this
she manages to dodge it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lady over there, she's like, oh, look there, a do-gooder. But my pistols don't lie. You have killed many people, and now it's your turn to feel what it's like to be murdered. And then she's gonna shoot at Magnus. Hits. Crits. And hits. So that is 10 piercing damage, 12 piercing damage, and 28 piercing damage for 3 bullets, slamming into Magnus's breastplate. None of them got through, but you can definitely feel some ribs starting to give out.
Yeah.
And then, flowing out in a cloud of fire and cinders, you can see, well, it was your old friend Leopold at some point. What it is now, you're not entirely certain of. But he is definitely shooting at Edamir with his bow. That is a crit. And that is a miss, I believe. What do you know? 1 crit, though. Shoots Edamir straight through the tail with an arrow for 32 damage. And there is a huge, honking, burning, bear-shaped thing moving towards Edamir at the speed of a freight train as well. And then it is this lady. What are you going to do? I'm going to remember to check the range of the spell. Is what I'm going to do. So she needs to move up here. And then we will need a DC 24 Fortitude save from Edamir. Oh my! A spectral like Iron Maiden materializes around Edamir, smacks in, causing 19 negative energy damage and 19 piercing damage. And Edamir is immobilized by that thing as well. He's not paralyzed or stunned or anything, but he can't move away from his square, just immobilized.
So that's 38.
38 total.
And I take it the piercing's physical.
The piercing's physical. Negative energy damage is negative energy damage. The other bro here is going to disengage. Moving back here. And he is going to cast, that's a DC 24 reflex save for Zara.
Sorry, I was swinging at him for stepping away.
Give us, he disengages. Or is there even a disengage action in Pathfinder 2?
There's a 5-foot step that takes 1 action.
All right. Well, it's a 5-foot step then. Been playing too much Baldur's Gate. And then he casts the same Iron Maiden at Zara, so that's going to be a DC 24 Fortitude save for Zara. Let me just remember to actually click on the spell here. Oh my! Well, that's going to be 13 piercing. Man, that is less than ideal. Actually, Shoggoth, what are you doing? Let's roll the correct amount of dice. That's going to be 9 piercing damage for Zara. And 9 negative energy damage. And she did fail, but not a critical failure. So she is going to be immobilized for 1 round. Or until she extricates herself with an escape artist. Did somebody just drop off a Discord?
Did you roll your flat 5 to target me with that ability?
I did not.
We lost the arena, I think.
Yeah, she said
that
something crashed.
Arena seems to be having some slight issues. That was a success, though, on the flat 5. And it is Mador's turn.
I'm shooting at the gunslinger lady.
Gotcha.
My crossbow.
For a flat 30. That is a hit. For a solid 12 damage.
I'm moving up and loading.
Right. And we have gotten to Arwena's turn, so she's going to have to deal with her... she's doing a reboot right now. I have to deal with her... her computer issues, so we'll give her a moment to do that.
During that time, would you mind doing a little bit more describing of the fiery cloud that once was our friend?
Well, it's not so much fiery as cinders, the sort of cinders you get flying from a fire that fly up into the air. Just a cloud of cinders, vaguely Leopold-shaped, with 2 bright red, burning red eyes in the middle of it. But and the bear looks like it's more fire than anything else. Sprinting up towards Edamir.
How far up in the air is the fire ash cloud?
The fiery ash cloud is rolling over the tiled road.
Okay.
You can see burning footprints as it's moving up.
Leo is hovering in the air, all right, though.
Yeah,
is he actually on the ground too?
Leopold von Scheiterhaufen is definitely on the ground, yes. It looks like we have Marisol back.
Everything crashed. I'm still waiting for my character sheet to load in, but you can share the map with me again.
That we can do. Hope that doesn't become an issue. We're on another computer than the regular one today. So as soon as Mara will... Mara. As soon as Marisol's loaded back in. Had wanted to say Marawol for some reason, but that's just a bastardization of Marasilwiki and Marisol. That's just wrong. soon as Marisol's loaded in, she gets to take her turn, and it looks like she's coming in here.
Yeah. So I finished climbing up on the wall. No, up on the roof, right?
Yeah, you use one turn getting up on the roof. So
Yeah.
now you're on the roof, and you have a commanding presence of pretty much everything, because you're on the tallest building around.
Well, I saw that the gunslinger lady shot my friend 3 times, and I also want her guns pretty badly. So I'm gonna aim, and I'm gonna swear to the eyes of the sky that I'm gonna kill that thing.
Gotcha. That's a hit.
Or
That's a
perhaps
crit.
a crit.
That is a critical success, yes. Duh.
With
Look,
2 ones. Yay!
yeah. You also, having shot a lot of things and having a pretty good appreciation of what it's like and how they should be reacting from being shot, you notice that she does not really get as damaged as she should be by your bullets. She kind of
Not by the fact that they are concussive. If
turns her upper body, and your bullet partly goes through one of the bullet holes that's already in her.
so it doesn't slam into her like it should do.
Nope.
Aw. Well, she's on fire at least.
That she is. She is on fire. You now currently have 3 fiery undead in the area around Edamir. I'm certain he's super happy about it. It is also Edamir's turn.
And you said I'm restrained?
Immobilized. So you can do an escape artist, a DC 24. That will be an acrobatics roll for you to get out of it. It'll cost you 1 turn.
Alright, I will try to escape it. That be... What would that be?
That would be an
acrobatics or
acrobatics
athletics?
roll. Oh, acrobatics for escape artists. The acrobatics. Dum boom ba-dum boom. Ooh.
Sorry, I need to see what my stats are for acrobatics.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, no, that is plus 10. Okay.
Yep. You sneak your ass out of it. And still have 2 actions left. Not made to contain a tiny fox form.
I'm gonna run there.
Gotcha. That's 2 actions.
And I'm gonna yell at Leopold, weren't you supposed to be at the other end of the bridge? And that'll be my turn.
Right. Taking us to Zara.
Fabulous. Well, it turns out Zara doesn't have to move. She makes a duplicate of herself standing next to the wizard.
I assumed there was going to be some sort of shenanigans.
Immobilize means no move trait. Moving is for nerds.
Yes, there we are.
She then is going to pull a scroll out of one of her many pockets and cast a 2-action heal on herself.
Gotcha. That takes us to this bro, who is still hounding Zara like some sort of hunting dog. He's going to try to acrobatics his ass past Preacher. That is a natural 20, so Gets past Preacher without any issue. Punches at Zara twice. Misses both times. Let's see, does this lady have any fun tricks up her sleeve? What are you?
Also, I'm just going to point this out. Zara is also still standing in the corner.
Gotcha.
She exists in both locations.
Very well. This devil here is going to shoot at the enemy spellcaster 3 times. The Erinis. Okay. Takes away 2 of the mirror images she has, but she does manage to tag her. You hear her scream out in pain, and the child next to Zara turns and shouts, "Lucilla!" And then it is Iodi.
Alright. Iodi is going to move over here next to Medora and tug on his shirt a little bit and nod his head towards the monsters that are chasing Estrella. And then I will do a Ray of Frost at the one directly adjacent to her.
Gotcha. That's it, sir.
Not bad, not bad.
Okay, it is now Preacher's turn.
Preacher will burn a key point just to try and finish this fight faster. And Flurry blows the creature in front of him
Gotcha.
with a attempted combat grab on the second one.
2 criticals. And he is definitely grabbed.
Okay, so we'll see if this is actually interesting. In that case, that's the first one.
All of the dice. And then
Second
all of
one.
the dice again. Total of 92 damage.
With an additional split off damage of electricity going on the boy, I think it is. Is the other red guy 10 meters away from me? Or 10 feet above?
He's within 10 feet of you.
Then he'll get another dose.
Okay.
Spread damage.
How much electricity damage are we talking here?
It's 2d6, I think, but that's actually included in. Ooh, how am I gonna do this? I think it's included in the first roll. Roll this separately?
Roll it separately.
Okay.
Okay, right. Yeah, so they just get zapped.
And here comes the force from the key point on the first and on the second.
Yeah, just 2 mighty blows, and Preacher, with his combination of all sorts of interesting ways of damaging things, manages to just fry enough blood vessels solid long enough that he can give him a mighty punch into the midriff and kind of shatter the creature, so it just falls down in a puddle of mashed flesh and blood.
Okay. In that case, I step up and prepare to give the guy the last punch.
Gotcha. That's a flat DC 5 against his blur, if you're going to be punching him. Okay.
So he's going to get a.
That is a miss.
In that case, I'm done.
Right. Thank you. That takes us to Estrella.
Yep. Estrella is going to try to tumble behind the one in front of her.
Okay, let me just correct myself from last time. I made a mistake. This thing actually took way more damage from being slashed than it should have done. Seems like they're not very good with getting their veins cut.
Great. Okay. So she's trying to tumble behind here. So
Success.
bup, bup, bup. There it is. Against flat-footed.
That is a critical.
Sweet.
Hoo-wee!
And this is my sneaky.
4, 5, yeah, this
And
thing is bleeding like a stuck pig right now.
he's going to bleed even more because I'm going to twist my knife and add 2 persistent bleed damage.
Ah, okay.
Ending my turn.
That ends your turn. Gotcha. It is actually his turn. So he's going to... First, he's gonna just spew blood at Estrella. Oh, that's a critical. Takes her straight in the face.
Can my nimble dodge turn that critical into a normal?
No. And that is 32 bludgeoning damage to Estrella, and she is dazzled for 1 round. And then he actually misses both of his follow-up attacks. So Estrella's struggling to wipe the blood out of her face, and for the next round, she's gonna have to do a what's it called? DC 5 flat check to attack anything because she's struggling to see. Is this Magnus's turn?
Okay. Magnus is going to lay on hands on Edamir. And that's for 30 hit points.
Yeah. Tiny fox friend seems less injured.
Magnus will then use his second focus point to do exactly the same thing for himself.
Gotcha.
And then his last action is going to be to turn back to the undead gunslinger and raise his shield.
Right. This other flayed creature is moving up to get a proper flank on Estrella before it tries to punch and grab her. Oh my.
Nimble dodge.
That is another natural 20.
I'm going to use my warding tattoo.
Right. What's that do?
An enemy is attack against my AC, so I gain a +1 status bonus to AC and saving throws and gain resistance 2 to the damage.
Okay, so resistance 2 to damage. That takes us down to 33 damage.
She still goes down.
Very well. And then it just lifts her in a bundle of veins and starts strangling her. This lady, she looks up at Marisol and shouts, "Hey, real gunfighters use pistols! And then she's gonna take 3 shots at Marisol. Struggling ever so slightly with the fact that she is shooting at very long range, but one of them still manages to tag Marisol for 10 piercing damage. Leopold is shooting at the Ediness. Also having a bit of stuttering with my fancy grounds here. It's not just Arena. Might be our internet connection is... Oh, wow. Leopold actually fat fingers his first shot and puts it into the butt of his bear.
That's unbrained.
That's never happened before.
So it reminds you of all the good times you had with Leopold. Yeah. Young girl here is just going to throw a fireball at Magnus and Edamir, so that's going to be a DC 24 reflex save from for each of you. Wow.
Nice.
I gotta say. That's 19 fire damage to each. The other bro is going to try to reach out and touch. Reach out and touch me. Reach out and touch, my lord, Shoggoth. Zara, that's what she's called. Yes. If only Fancy Grounds would cooperate.
Is this the wizard guy?
Yes. And he, you can see black, and how are you getting an attack of opportunity now, by the way?
He is my marked by my mirror, and one of the things that triggers my attack of opportunity is attempting to cast spells.
Very well.
Unless he's a psychic and doesn't have any components at all.
Nope. But give me a flat 5 check first. Oh, you did.
It was a 13.
Oh. So that is a critical for Zara, and he hits with his spell as well. So that's
It interrupts his spell.
Oh, without any saves? Interesting.
That's because it was a critical.
Ah, shiny. Good for you. It's the first time we've actually, in a very long time, we've had that thing happening. And I believe you also knock him on his ass, do you not?
Yes.
See. I'm doing math
And
again.
it takes an additional 4 damage on top of that because he is weak to me.
Right. Yeah, he screams out in pain. You have obviously gotten the full attention of the other girl here. It is Mador's turn.
Look down at Iodi tugging on me, switch to the glaive, and go to Strella's aid.
Very well. That is still time for 2 attacks. First one there is actually a miss. Wow. Your dice today. Not amazing. Second one's a hit. Mador slashes into it, cutting the veins that are choking Estrella, and she falls down onto the ground. You can see that your glaive is having excellent effect on these things. They are not happy with you slashing their blood vessels. Marzal.
Just a question. Did it have anything to say the fact that the Iris of the Sky last round fired just fire damage rather than a bullet?
Could have had.
Well, the Iris of the Sky just disappears up her sleeve, and out comes the Dwarven rifle, whereas she answers her call that Well, a really good gunslinger can use different weapons based on what is needed. And I'll shoot her twice.
Very well. That is a hit. That is a miss. Yep, you see the bullet hit her again, but again, just doesn't have the effect you anticipated it would.
I didn't anticipate too much this time because I saw what happened last time, but I'm gonna grind her down.
Yep. Right. It is
Oh,
Edamir's
by the
turn.
way,
Yes.
take some precision damage as well, since it's the first shot of with that weapon.
There we are. Again, still Edamir's turn.
I will just reach out, touch Magnus, and give him positive attunement.
Ooh. What's that button do?
Heals him 1d8, then 1d8 at the end of each of my turns for a minute.
Ah, shiny.
And I end my turn.
You see, Magnus is feeling much better now. Somebody else who's probably feeling better is Zara. It's your turn.
Excellent. I am going to use a weapon vulnerability intensification, which gives me a +2 to hit against the target of my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to hit the poor sod while he's down.
How rude.
I passed the
And
flat check.
getting past the blur. That is a hit.
With an additional 4 damage on top of that.
Yeah, Zara's hammer just comes down on his head, smashes it like a ripe melon. You can hear a scream of pain as the girl over on the other side of the park staggers and holds her hands to her head.
Does she have any mirror images left?
She does have 2 mirror images left.
So quick question. Would blur target, or not blur, would paralyze target the images because it is not an attack roll?
Let me check the mirror image spell and see what it says, because it's a question I hadn't considered up until this
says-
very moment.
It keeps specifically saying attacks, and this is not an attack. It would have to try to hit, if she's blurred, it would have to get past the blur for targeting her, because blur says target,
Yeah,
and
no,
then
it,
she would make the save.
it goes on attacks, but not that sort of spell, no.
Okay, Zara pulls a wand out of her bandolier of wands and points it at Lucilla, and casts Paralyze with her Wand of Paralytic Shock.
Shiny. Gets past the DC. What's the save on that?
25.
Oh, she is suddenly not moving at all. Now over to Zara's new best friend, who is going to try to smack her twice. That's a miss. That is a miss, and then it's going to try to spew blood into her face. That is also a miss. Wow. Just one of those days, isn't it? The devil shrieks triumphantly, and then flies over to this lady, places both of her clawed hands down under her chin, uses her legs to push off, and pulls her head off.
Yeah.
Neat.
Now it's Eodi's turn.
So Estrella's not grabbed anymore, but she's still down on the ground, I assume.
Very much down on the ground.
I will move up next to her. I'm gonna pour a lesser healing potion on her. And yeah, I'll hit her with a lesser elixir of life.
Gotcha.
I suppose I should roll that healing number, huh?
You probably should.
Hold on, I don't remember what the number is. Hold on.
That is also perfectly fine. We have time.
3d6 plus 6.
Man, Eodi should just get a super soaker with those potions. That's 18 hit points back to Estrella. She's now just wounded 1.
And for my last action, I'm going to duck back behind this wall over here.
Yep.
Oh, my fantasy grounds is like chugging right now.
Yes, I've also got some real stuttering on Fancy Grounds currently. Preacher.
Okay. What's the condition of Sarah next to me? Looking pretty good or damaged, wounded?
Give me a medicine roll. Say it's a DC 15. She's looking pretty battered.
Well, she did succeed in dodging all of that blow, so I'm going to try and get to Leopold.
Okay.
I'm going to use my quick running short to get more movement, and I'm going to dodge through the square that this guy's going in and hopefully reach him in 1 round.
Man, these quick run shirts are popular.
Yep, we have 2 in the group, I think.
Okay, give me your acrobatics roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. You actually give Sora... he's flat-footed against Sora's next attack because he's so busy kind of just scrambling up in the air trying to grab Preacher.
And I'm going to shout, Leopold, when I get there and try and hammer him twice with a flurry of blows. And the second one, grab him.
Gotcha. That's a miss. It's a hit, but you don't manage to grab him.
Okay. Then we're going to do that. And the loss is a regular strike.
Gotcha.
Or miss.
That's another miss. Estrella.
Mm-hmm.
It is your turn.
Estrella is going to crawl behind Mador. Remember that you can do that with her full movement, so that shouldn't be any issue.
There we are.
Then she's going to chuck down one of her own elixirs.
Very well.
Before standing up. So, could you please let me roll these? Thank you.
Yeah, Fancy Grounds being a right dingus currently. That would be 14 hit points back to Estrella.
Yeah. Crawling, drinking, standing up. That's it.
That's it. Right. This one here, following Estrella like a bloodhound. That's an attack of opportunity for Mador. Oh, critical.
Means you can't go any further.
Oh boy, there's really no need as Mador kind of twirls his glaive in a figure 8. That thing is trying to dodge with its blood vessels going every which way, and Mador cuts absolutely all of them. It falls down onto the floor like a can of Chef Boyardee was just spilled. Taking us to Magnus.
Okay. Magnus. Yeah, Magnus takes a step up to the undead gunslinger.
Yep.
And then tries to hit her with the grieving blade.
She dodges that attack.
Okay, Magnus stays put and just raises his shield.
Very well. The other bro here is going to go for Estrella. I don't believe Mador has any feats that give him more reactions.
Oh.
Yet.
Yet.
Nimble dot, you know me.
Yep. It's lashing out at Estrella with its fists. Estrella dodges the first one. Just barely dodges the second one. There's a little bloody fingerprint on the tip of her nose, but it's not enough to actually injure her. The lady that Magnus moved up to takes a 5-foot step back. Goes, "Ah, you're cute, but you're not my type." And then she tries to shoot him twice. Does have his shield up, so that shield is going to take that damage. That is 14 damage to the shield. The shield does deflect the bullets, but the bullet leaves a good-sized dent. Leopold, his mouth opens towards Preacher, but the only thing you can hear is the roaring of flames. So he also 5-foot steps back and then tries to shoot Preacher twice with his bow. Son of a... That is a hit. Yes. Hit and a miss. For a total of 10 negative energy damage.
A negative check.
And it is now Mador's turn.
Just swing on the other one.
That is a critical. Mador pulling out the big blows. Okay. That one does a lot of damage. That's a miss. That's another miss. It's kind of getting to be a thing that it's the attacks of opportunity Mador really smacks somebody on. It's good to have a reach weapon. Speaking of being able to reach out and touch somebody, it is Marisol's turn.
Yeah. So I'm gonna shoot her again.
Very well. Oh boy. First one's a hit. Second shot, the hammer comes down on the shell and you hear a click sound.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the next round fixing that and reloading, so I'll be alright.
Yeah, first one's still a hit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's starting to look even more ragged than she was, and she was pretty full of holes at the start. Big old Bernie bear. Smokey the fiery bear. It's gonna move up here. I'm gonna need a DC 24 reflex save from Mador and Estrella as it breathes fire at them. Actually, a DC 24 reflex from the other thing as well, but... It's a critical for Estrella. She takes no damage. Medor takes 14 fire damage. And the creature you're fighting against also seems to get pretty singed. As that bear, with burning anger, just breathes fire at you. Edemir's turn.
I will sustain spell. Then I will cast Disrupt Undead on the Gunslinger.
Gotcha.
So Fortitude save.
And what is the DC on that, sir?
27.
That is a success. So that's what, half damage?
I believe so.
Yeah, that thing is even more discombobulated than it was, but it's still up and running. Speaking of up and running, it is Sora's turn.
Hold on. I gotta heal. Magnus gains 3. And I'm gonna yell to Preacher, keep hitting him. Maybe you'll suck that one into your gloves too. Yeah, and that's my turn.
Zara is going to do an esoteric lore on this, what you call it in front of her?
The
flame
Excorion.
corpse?
Yeah. These things, the Excorions are usually made, they don't spontaneously get up as undead. These are made by cults specifically, and they're very, very difficult to make as well. Not a lot of cults have the ability to do so. They are undead with the usual undead immunities, death effects, disease, mental, paralyzed, poison, and unconscious. They are, however, weak to positive and slashing. Mostly used as either assault storm troopers or as assassins, because their bodies mostly being animated blood and blood vessels, they can get in a lot of places where other undead creatures can't. Anything the width of their skull they can squeeze through.
Delicious. Which is it weaker to, positive or slash?
Positive.
I now trigger weakness to positive against it.
Yeah. Those bloody handprints also that's on Sara and Estrella lets every Escorion within 70 feet instantly know where they are.
Excellent. I'm going to use another action to intensify vulnerability on the mirror, so I am blurred against the Excorion in front of me.
Very well.
And then I'm going to apply hammer.
That is a critical hit. Sara now
That'll be
knowing...
57 damage plus weakness, and he's prone.
Yeah, Sara now knowing exactly what this thing is and how to defeat it, swings the hammer like a golf club, sends its head flying off, and it falls down in a puddle of blood.
And that's my 3 actions.
Very well. Yeah. A devil flies up behind Leopold. You can hear her going like, "Pretender! You think you're a creature of fire? I'll show you what a creature of fire is," and pulls out a flaming longsword that she attacks with. To absolutely no effect. It's Eodi's turn.
I'm going to... Come on, Fantasy Ground, stay with me.
Thinking it's probably a server issue.
I'm gonna slide along this wall over here. And then I will Ray of Frost the smoky bear of cinders.
Ah.
Checks out.
That is a miss.
And that'll be my turn.
Then it is Le Preacher.
Right. I will step up, burn a key point, and shout, "I will bring you peace." Hopefully, do so. With a flurry of blows to begin with. Second is a grab.
That is 1 hit and 1 critical.
Okay, then a real hit first. With extra d6 of force. With positive energy, actually.
Yep.
Then we have the crit. With positive on top of that.
Right. So, Preacher moves up, smacks it twice, and the cloud starts floating, flying away as the Preacher's second fist hits. But reaching out of the fist comes a ghostly hand, and you can hear somebody go, "Oh no! If I'm gonna have to be in here, you're coming too!" And Leopold is pulled into the glove.
Priceless. Last action. Beyond being a little bit surprised at the effect here. Yeah. I'm gonna see how long I can get, whether we actually need to move. Yeah, I'll run after the bear.
Yep. That takes us to Estrella.
Yes. Sorry, that was just too great of a scene. Estrella is switching. She's grabbing her vine of roses from her belt to attack the thing in front of her.
A hit. Ooh. Yeah, this thing, it's the Wine of Roses, as it slaps into it, you can hear sort of a sizzling sound. This thing takes massive damage just from being touched by it.
Yep, so I'm going to try that again.
That's another hit. Oh yeah, this thing is definitely not appreciating being hit by Estrella like that. The Vine of Roses just gonna burns blood and flesh away.
Mm-hmm. And then I am going to stab behind my door.
Very well.
I swear you said you're going to stab behind my door.
I also heard that. I was like, well, that's
It
what
wasn't
rogues
me.
do. What rogues do. It is Magnus's turn.
Okay, being far away from Estrella's stabbing behind people, Magnus is going to step over past this undead gunslinger.
Okay, she is gonna pistol whip him as he passes. If Fancy Grounds allows me to. Or at least try to pistol whip him. Oh yeah, she pistol whips him. Smacks him across the face with the barrel of one of the flintlocks for 16 bludgeoning.
And Magnus tries to hit her with the grieving blade again.
That's gonna be a hit.
Okay, and he's just going to stop dead and raise his shield.
Yeah, he notices that slashing this lady definitely seems to be doing a lot more than anything else you've seen. She is not enjoying that. The Excorian that's hunting Estrella is going to move down to her. that's an attack opportunity for Mador. And that's a hit. Mador, again, haven't gotten used to the fact that these things are chasing Estrella, just waits for it to lunge at her and then cleaves it straight in two. And it is... Whoop, sorry, Estrella, you were saying something?
Yeah, no, Estrella nods to Mador. That's what I was counting for.
Yeah.
Yes, playing Ring Around the Rosie, Estrella. I understand.
The pale stranger steps back from Magnus, hisses, "Murder!" And shoots him twice. That's one hit and one crit. So 14 piercing damage and then 45 piercing damage on the second shot.
Okay, the second shot, Magnus just groans and goes down.
Yeah, you can see her starting to aim her pistol at his head where he's lying on the ground. It is now Mador's turn.
Well, let's see. I'm going to use my special shoes I got.
Ah,
At the end of my run, I release a thunderous 5-foot. If I gone more than 60 feet, which I did,
yep.
I release a thunderous 5-foot emanation that deals 2d6 bludgeoning damage and 2d6 sonic damage with a DC 12 basic fortitude save.
Wow, okay. roll your 46 damage there. So yeah, that's an interesting ability. Mador comes up, and the moment he stops, there's a little thunder wave, like sound wave, moving out from around him, and it's actually enough. She's taken so much damage; she's just being held together by sinew at this moment that she just is torn to pieces by the force of Mador's arrival. And she is gone. Did you have any actions left, or was that it?
Let's see, 25. Yeah, no more action. That's all my actions.
Gotcha. It is now Marisol's turn.
Nice. I call out, I want those pistols. And then I will just start to fix my rifle.
Very well. The big fiery bear runs up toward Preacher and jumps into his gloves.
Of course.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break for bio and coffee for everybody.
A little crowded in there, Preacher.
We seem to be
Okay.
back. Excellent. So yeah, the flaming bear is absorbed by Preacher's gauntlets.
Where did the devil friggin' flying lady thing go?
Good question. I'll just pull her back out.
Strange.
If we're gonna have more map shenanigans, please share it again. Thank you very much.
Now, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, is everybody back? Everybody has their computer working again.
Yes.
Everything on my desktop just crashed.
Nice.
Lovely. Just one of those days for all of us, computer-wise today.
Yep.
CG.
Right. Well, we can still roleplay while Quinn reloads in.
I'm heading over to the body of the good nun.
Yeah. You can see that she's been she's leaned up against a large rock, having bled out from or been shot through the head to be more correct. But as you move up towards her, you see movement down. Her robes are kind of moving about.
I'm gonna ready the glaive just in case.
Mud
Yeah.
groans as he gets up and moves alongside him.
The tiny, tear-streaked face, covered in soot and grime, pokes out from behind her robes. It's a young child there. Kind of hard to say if it's a boy or a girl under all the grime.
I'll lean down and says, "Are you okay?"
She kind of leans back a bit for a moment, but then she starts crying and comes out and just hugs Medor's legs. Like,
Ugh, it's a wee Ben. It's alright, little one. You're safe now.
That looks like a trap to me.
she kind of cocks her head a bit as Magnus speaks, and she looks up at Medor and like, he talks funny.
I know I have a hard time understanding him sometimes too.
Nah, but he is okay. And Estrella looks at Magnus before walking over to the water to wash her face because she's full of blood.
Are there any other alive out here, or are you the only one?
I don't know. Nana was protecting me, and then the bad lady came, and then there was a man for a moment, but I thought he was a knight, but he just shouted in language that hurt my ears, and then the lady with the flaming bow arrived.
Those other two children that are out here attacking us, were they part of your group?
I've never seen them before, but they were mean.
Yes, they were. Well, let me.
We were having class, and then they came in and started ordering us to go where being real bossy, telling us we had to go into this glowy door. And I didn't want to. And then Nana and the other nuns told them that they were evildoers and to get out, but some of the other nuns attacked them.
They were doing it to protect you.
The other nuns attacked the other two kids.
No, I mean, the grown-ups fought each other, and then somebody hit Nana Hopesinger on the back of the head, and they took her into the grown-ups dormitories.
They fought amongst themselves. That doesn't sound right.
Does this sound to me if she's lying about any of this?
You can roll a deception.
How's it? Deception?
Yeah. You're pretty certain she's on the up and up.
I'm gonna come down from the roof.
I'm gonna ask the Fury, so what brings you around here?
We'll do that conversation afterwards.
Is Mother Hope Singer still around?
Mother Pusin hit her in the back of the head with a candlestick, and they took her to the grown-ups dormitory.
Do I recognize the name of that nun?
Yeah, she was by far the worst one you had to deal with growing up. You remember her being an Osimar, actually. Descended from angels, but the moment the other nuns had their back to you, to her, she definitely wasn't.
Yeah, my back shows it.
You seem familiar with this place, Mother. Do you know where that is?
This is all new to me. I was at the original orphanage. But this nun was one of the few that stood up to the other nuns. Those other two there, I point to the other two bodies, they didn't partake, but they didn't get involved and they didn't help on the...
Right, so
well, it's personal.
Aye, I understand. So, and he points towards the one that the child was hiding against. So that one was a good one, and these were neutral. They didn't do anything to help, but they didn't, abuse you themselves.
Is there a place you can hide right now?
I could hide where I was hiding. Nobody found me until you came.
I think the fighting is not quite over, and I would not want you to be hurt.
Hiding under a dead person's body when, there's necromancers raising dead around? Not the brightest idea.
Hey, excuse me there, Adam, are you beside me by any chance?
No.
Okay.
I'm right over here.
Well, she looks up at Medora like, I know a spot. Come with me.
Okay, I'll come with you.
She leads him up to the kitchen, where she crawls in and hides behind some bags of flour. And then she leans out and like, here, Nana said I should keep this in case somebody got injured. And then she hands a healing potion to him.
Okay, you stay here and keep hidden. And if everything goes well, and I'll return and I will come and get you.
Okay, but be careful with the bald man. He looks into people's eyes and then they do as he says.
What man?
He's taller than you and thin, and he's got pointy ears and glowy eyes and a real nasty voice.
Okay. Thank you. I will pass that on to the rest of my party members.
Simrit was here defending us, but then the glowy man looked him in the eyes and he put his weapon down. You shouldn't put your weapon down.
Who was this gentleman's name?
Simrit, the knight who was here.
Oh, the knight that was there. Okay.
He spoke funny, but not like your friend with the red hair. He should learn a proper language.
between me and you, I agree. But you promise you'll stay hidden here now, and if everything goes well and I do survive, I will come back and get you.
Thank you. Right, over to Edamir's conversation. You're over with the Erinnis.
Yeah, so why are you here?
Why are you here? What kind of question is that? Why am I here? Why do you think I'm here?
No idea.
I was bound to defend this place, not to answer questions for cheeky foxes that came up.
Bound by who?
You seem to be under the impression that I'm going to give you answers for free. What's in it for me?
Sorry, I don't make deals with devils.
Well, that sucks to be you then. You can go wonder about your questions while chewing on a turnip and meditating or something.
I think I'd rather chew on a mouse.
Yeesh. Druids these days.
Preacher is standing right next to the couple while they're talking. I still have my stance going, so I'm basically aglow with kind of a small fire going on and looking very much like deciding, is this going to be a fight or not? But I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking at her.
Preacher, I think it'll be fine. I mean, she's bound to protect this place, so I don't think as long as we don't harm this place, we should be fine.
Do you realize you're taking the word of a devil that she's bound and not going to do anything here?
Contracts are complicated.
Well, protecting this place can mean two things. Protecting from evildoers or protecting from people trying to stop evildoers.
Well, obviously she killed the undead, so she can't be all that bad. And she hasn't, tried to kill us yet.
We have seen undead fighting undead before.
Well, I love your little philosophical discussion here. Trust me, I would not be staying in this shithole if I didn't have to. And you, big boy, she looks over at Preacher. Your soul has escaped judgment for millennia. I'm not planning on trying to reap it today. I will say this, however, it's very, very annoying the way people on this plane keep binding souls into inanimate objects so that they don't get their judgment. And just because that pisses me off, I will say that whoever's here trying to reap the souls of these kids are planning on binding them into something much, much darker than you are.
Hell's bells. Where?
I can't enter any of the buildings, but I suggest you go up to that dormitory and ask Mother Poisson a couple of pointed questions, ideally with, a sword. Because I'm pretty certain she's heading our way when she's dead.
Did she
you'd be doing me a favor.
Okay. Where? I'm looking around.
She points up towards the entrance to a large hall.
Very well. I'm guessing she points to... Okay.
Now... she's not alone. I think your odds of survival are, well, not that great. Or, I wouldn't point you in that direction. Pretty certain at least one of you or two of you are headed my way anyway. But I can make you a little deal.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of arcane energy around here. I'll juice you up if I get a little something in return.
Without making that deal, what are you asking for exactly?
Well, when the time comes and you get onto that annoying, so annoying lady. She holds up a little vial made of brass and some sort of reddish glass. Just a few of drops of her blood into this vial. Doesn't have to be alive when you do it.
I look down to Edomir. This is arcane stuff. Your area.
That'd be more of Zara's area. Blood and stuff's more occult.
Zara!
Zara's curled up in a ball in a corner.
Okay. Quick decisions. Yes.
Perfect. She hands Preacher the vial. Don't forget now, or I'm gonna have to sap the magical powers of your friends for a fortnight. Breaking contracts is very bad, you know.
Well,
Hey, we didn't have anything to do with this contract.
I'm gonna say one thing regarding this contract. If she gets vaporized, the deal is off. I'm not gonna be able to get anything from her that way.
I can't make that deal. You'll just have to do your best not to vaporize her.
Should have read the fine print.
Very well.
Perfect. She rubs her hands together and like, this might sting a little. And all of a sudden, hellfire rushes into the 8 of you, healing wounds and restoring magical energies, leaving a distinct smell of brimstone and a very, very painful experience all in all. But you do feel a bit more rested afterwards.
All of us, or just Preacher?
Preacher made the deal for the party, so all 8.
Yep, he took our souls and just handed them over.
You don't need that anyway.
Estrella kneels at the waterside and shooting him a glance that could murder.
She's busy kind of idly petting or trying to pet the fox with her left hand. Now, I'm bound here for, well, I'm not going to specify the amount of time. That would make things too easy for you. But don't worry about the courtyard for a bit. Worry about your friend there. The one that got dominated. While this is going on, what's Eodi and Marisol doing?
I climbed down from the roof, and then I walked over to check on the flintlock pistols the ghost had.
Yep, they're definitely magical flintlock pistols. But you're going to need Eodi to have a much better look at them to figure out what the issue actually is.
I'm gonna go turn them over to Yoga then. Can you tell me anything about these?
I'm currently checking on Zara to see what's going on with her curled up in a ball in the corner over there.
Right. Well, that
Then
takes
I'm gonna
Marisol
wait.
up there as well. Right, over to Eodi and Zara.
Yeah, Zara's curled up on the floor. She dropped her hammer and is just sobbing in a ball.
Yodi kind of like pokes her with his staff a little bit. Is there something more going on here?
I could see their faces again. I could hear their screams.
You have to be more specific. Who are we talking about now?
The others who were with me at the camp.
Yodi's like looking around, very confused. The others, you say?
I remember their screams. I remember their warmth. I remember their taste. And then she starts vomiting.
Yodi will fetch a priest. And I'm going to walk towards Magnus.
Very well. Yodi comes over to Magnus.
I believe Zara might need the help of a healer. I do not know. Yodi is, I will be over here.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Yodi. I'll jog up and see you. Zara, are you alright?
She grabs Magnus by his collars and goes, I hear them screaming, Magnus. I see their faces.
Spirits? From who?
The others in the camp with me, Magnus. You have no idea what they made me do.
Why don't you tell me about it, lassie?
What's the worst that you've ever been made to do, Magnus?
Well, I stabbed someone in the back once. Been made to choose between who would live and who would die on a field of battle, but nothing more than that.
I butchered them, Magnus.
And why did you do that?
It was butcher or be butchered, Magnus. I feel their warmth over my hands, since she looks down at her hands that are just covered in gore from the fight.
So it was kill or be killed, and you were defending yourself.
Eat or be eaten, Magnus.
That sounds
She
very
chuckles.
That sounds very unpleasant. Look, come with me over to the pool. Let's get you cleaned up a bit, eh?
She'll go with him.
Magnus takes off his gauntlets to help her wash herself off.
Right. And at more or less the moment she's washed off, woof, you all feel that terrible burning. As you're not entirely certain what happened, but the spellcasters among you can feel their magical energies having been replenished. And a lot of your wounds, not all of them, but a lot have closed, just leaving dark gray scars instead of regular type.
What just happened? You cast a heal spell.
I think somebody made a deal with the devil.
Oh, jings. What are the conditions?
Do you want to succeed with this or not? We are almost spent and we still have a big fight ahead of us.
Aye, true enough.
This devil might escape her bonds because I suspect that's what the blood is for.
Something so pedestrian. Huh. Oh dear. Oh no, handsome. Isabel has much better plans than that.
Oh, aye, 'cause devils always tell the truth.
Oh,
They do.
you poor, handsome but stupid fellow. If only you knew how much your gods quarrel. You have no idea what the stakes are here, do you?
Life, death, the fate of the planet, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Who really cares about the stakes? As long as we get to kill some undead along the way, everything's fine.
Well, you should have an interesting couple of months coming up then.
The question is, Ed, whose side are the undead going to be on?
She
Never
looks up at
ours.
she looks up at the dormitory with what actually for a moment looks like a bit of a worried expression. Well, if they finish that ritual, the winning one, I'd say.
Aye, but is that who they should be with? Lord Soth? Or somebody else?
I think you kind of skimmed over the part where they're currently casting a ritual.
No, I didn't. We need to stop it.
Where to then?
Well, Preacher moves off towards the summoning circle, kind of the dormitory. Still unsure which building you're indicating, but
Well, have fun storming the dorms, and don't forget to appreciate the art in there. There's some really interesting pieces.
That didn't sound ominous at all.
She's now sitting down, one leg over the other, showing a bit of thigh, giving Magnus a sultry wink as he walks past, and she's gotten a nail file from somewhere.
Well, my guns are all working again, and as soon as Master Yoda gets to look at these, I have a pair of brand new pistols.
I'm currently using my Beastmaster's trance to see where Roran is, because he was supposed to go over and, help fight Leopold.
Roran is definitely in a heck of a fight, but not with Leopold. How much does the Beastmaster's trance let you see?
Everything. I just use my perception to perceive things.
Right. So, through Roran's eyes, you can see a lady you recognize as Albertine leading the fight against a horde. And I mean horde. You couldn't spit in the direction of the skeletons there without hitting one of enemies. Flaming two-handed sword, striking down more and more of them. Before a large, black-armored figure materializes out of a cloud of bats, wielding a very, very evil-looking spear. You can't see much of her. Notice she's got a deathly pale, ashen gray type face. And it's in the heaviest plate armor you've ever seen. Looks like Albertine's about to strike her down when suddenly the black armored fighter sidesteps one of her blows. Just pushes that spear straight through her chest. And throws her at least 30 feet before going to town on some of the household knights of the Marquis there. And that's when Roran gets too busy for you to go keep that trance going, and you hear the rest of your group start moving about, talking about something about storming dormitories.
Well, that looks fun. At least he won't lack for bones.
Well, where to then?
Well-
Follow the preacher, I think.
And I'm still not clear on which space we're talking about because even though I've been pointed to it, I can't. I can see the map, but I can't see which.
Well, that's because there's going to be a change of scenery once you enter that building.
Okay.
Once
Well,
more
those are the
into the
buildings.
breach, then.
Quick question: how much damage did Yodi's lightning bolt do to the cafeteria area?
The wall is pretty much scorched, and there's the shadow of one of those undead creatures burned into the back of it. But other than that,
Nice.
nothing in particular. Let's
Strong
see.
stone.
Oh yeah, this place is built. Well. Entering the main dormitory, this place is huge. Easily 120 feet in one direction, and you can see kind of branches in different directions. But standing in the middle of the dormitory, waiting for you, is a creature that looks a lot like this. And he goes, more slaves. Have you come to bow down before your new master? You seem like suboptimal stock, but I will take what I can get at this point.
Well, then.
I will never call anyone master again.
And it is Preacher's turn.
Well, do I see the things on the sides? Because there appear to be something lurking.
You do not, but that's because the battle map is being stupid.
All right. In that case, I'm going to basically roar and then go full sprint up the aisle in front of me, and head over towards the malefactor, intending to attack.
Very well.
And I'm probably going to shout something like, "You will not have these orphans." And that's my first move. Unless something happens, I'm going to go around those pillars and straight into the person with the second move.
Okay.
And then attack.
Happy fun punching time.
Flurry of blows. Second one is a grab as usual. I think I managed to do that.
Yeah, both are hits.
Second was not a critical. Interesting.
Punching him.
Gets three.
Punching him. You notice that even the adamantine is kind of skating off.
She gets 3 fire as well from my stance.
Very well. Preacher going full Super Saiyan. It is Marisol's turn.
Yeah. So I'm gonna move to make cover behind those pillars there.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna aim and swear on the eyes of the sky that I want to burn that thing.
Spotter assist.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that means I get 2 more damage because you hit him. No, I get 2, 4, 6, 8 more damage. So plus 8 on whatever I roll per damage if I hit.
It's been a long time since you set yourself on fire. I've got a good feeling about this. Oh boy.
I do set myself on fire, apparently.
Marisol is on fire.
Ah, brilliant. Oh, for the love of all that is holy. Yeah, I can't do anything about
Marisol
this.
misses and goes. Woof. She's now on fire. It is Zara's turn.
Are these side doors closed?
Yes, they are.
I'll spend 2 moves to get there, and I will do a esoteric lore on the vampire.
Go ahead. That is going to be a DC 30 in this case. Oop. Sadly, the spirits are kind of grasping at straws here. They're like, it's got fangs. Looks vampirish. Might be undead. It's pretty pale. Weird accent. We're gonna have to get back to you.
And that's my turn.
The creature looks deep into Zara's eyes and says, I think you should serve me and kill your friends. That's going to be a DC 29 will save for Zara. Oh, Zara does not give one.
How about no?
And then it goes, get away from me, you clay. Seems to struggle with finding the right words. And the preacher dodges that blow. It is now Eodi's turn.
She's still held, so
Yeah, but she's got big old fangs and big old claws, so she has no problem attacking while being held.
oh, nice.
She's
I will
all
move
scratchy
to
and
there.
bitey. Eodi, yes.
I will
Moving.
move to there, and then I will ray of frost at the vampire lady. Man,
Gotcha.
thing.
Flat-footed, by the way.
Yep.
Ooh.
Well, that's a critical. Impressive. Actually, it freezes off a couple of fingers on its left hand there.
Also takes a minus 10-foot status penalty to speed for 1 round.
Yeah, well, almost frozen to the ground as well. Next up is Mador.
All right. Crossbow out. I'll move up 5 feet. Oh, actually 10 feet and shoot.
That's it. Crossbow bolt hits it square in the shoulder. Definitely hisses in pain. And then from the right side, Mador hears, "You've been a naughty boy! Naughty!" As an elderly but pretty bulky nun,
Do I recognize those voices?
frothing at the mouth, comes running out at him with a huge marble table leg. Yeah, this is one of those nasty nuns. You can't remember her being this spry though. She does not look like she's close to 80.
Well, if that was only one move, I didn't get the rest of my moves.
Move, shoot. Yeah, you have one more action. My bad.
Yeah. Well, I was going to draw my glaive, so.
Yeah. That is an attack of opportunity for you with the glaive then, as she charges Mador with that table leg. This is definitely not the nasty old nun you remember, because she manages to dodge that blow. Maniacal speed. And actually smacks Mador with with the marble table leg for 24 bludgeoning damage. And another one comes running out of a door, frothing at the mouth again, and like, "You have to drink your mead! How can you have any pudding if you don't drink your mead?" And she's gonna swing at Iodi. And that is actually a miss. Marble table leg there as well bounces off of his hide. And it is Magnus's turn.
Yeah, Magnus steps forward up to the second nun.
That's a solid 15-foot step. Yes.
And then goes, "You're not hitting my friends like that!" And takes a swipe with the blade. Oh,
Ooh.
lovely.
Give us a DC 20 reflex save. And also, please remove the ruler there.
Ruler moved. The reflex save.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. She gets a proper hold of Magnus's ear for a moment and goes, "Speak proper language!" And then Magnus manages to yank himself loose, but he loses his next action.
Fair.
It's now Estrella's turn.
Yeah, Estrella is fantasy ground. Thank you. Is moving past Marisol there with one action, right next to the pillars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then she's going to use her Vine of Roses for one attack.
That's a miss.
And then, although she is standing next... No. She's trusting... Marisol has experience being on fire, so she's going to attack a second time.
That is also a miss.
Ah, damn it.
You can hear more rabid rambling as one comes running up behind Preacher. And it's like, "Nasty statue! Stand still! Statues shouldn't move! Statues should be seen but not heard!" She smacks Preacher with a table leg for 21 bludgeoning damage.
Woof.
Let's take us to Edamir. Wow, Edamir has now rolled 1 on initiative, 2 fights in a row.
Sounds about right.
He doesn't have his support dog with him.
Yeah, this seems fine. Do I see any fine art along this left wall?
There's a lot of pictures here, actually. Not really being a curator of art, it's very difficult for you to say what's fine and what isn't.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start with one and cast Produce Flame and throw a little fireball at it.
Okay, well, one of the pictures goes up. Woof.
And that's my turn.
Very well. Back to Preacher.
Okay. Since we had the overnight rest, I'm going to burn a key point and just keep on wailing on this thing.
Very well.
Straight up. 2 strikes, but probably misses.
1 hit.
And an extra d6. That's a positive.
Ah. To your great surprise, this thing does not seem to be particularly weak to any of your strikes. Although you're hitting it very, very hard, so even being resistant, it's getting proper damaged.
May I point out that I also do Fey metal, kind of. I'm actually counting as cold iron with my metal strikes at the moment.
Well, that still doesn't change the equation, sadly.
Interesting. Alright, keep on wailing. If you don't succeed at first, keep on hitting.
If excessive force isn't solving your problems, you're not using enough.
I'm guessing that's a miss.
That is a miss, indeed.
And last strike.
That is a hit.
So that plus a d6. Also, I'm doing 3 fire this turn as well.
Yep. Okay, you wail on it, but it refuses stubbornly to die. Marisol's turn.
Yeah, so I don't have much choice. I need to try to put out this fire.
Yes, indeed. That's a flat DC 15, if I remember correctly.
It's actually 13 because of my punching rune, but I still failed.
Yep. So, how much fire damage is that you take?
I take 5 each round.
Oh, well, Marisol's busy being on fire currently.
Yes.
And that takes us to Iodi. No, that takes us to Zara. My bad. Miss Alpendew.
Zara is going to make a duplicate of herself. I did look up my fail effect on my exploit vulnerability, and I can still give him a personal antithis. So I'll just stick with that for right now. And I'm going to intensify vulnerability to give myself a +2 to hit him. And give it the old whammo, as it were.
With flank.
That's a 29 total.
That is a hit.
And then weakness 4 to me.
Yeah, he goes, ah! Zara hits him.
And that's my turn.
Right. He looks deeply into Preacher's eyes and says, I think you should kill the annoying lady behind me. And I need a DC 29 will save from Preacher.
Is this considered a magical effect?
Give me a hot minute. Let's see.
Probably.
Yes, it is.
Okay. In that case, I get a +1 circumstance. Arcane safeguards. That's still a lot. So will +1. Nope.
Preacher is filled with an intense urge to go kill Zara. He is now dominated. And then he's gonna turn around and try to bite Zara. And that's a hit. Nope, my bad. Wrong dice. Bites Zara and licks some of her blood. You can see its wounds starting to close, and that's 23 piercing damage to Zara. Which takes us to Iodi.
Yes. There's an old lady frothing at the mouth trying to beat me with a table leg, huh?
That is entirely correct.
Okay. Well, then I will take a 5-foot step this direction. Between the two big boys. And I'm going to pat Medor on his butt and cast haste on him.
Medor is much faster, and it is... are you done with your turn?
That was it, yep.
In that case, it's Medor's turn.
Okay, well, let's see. I can't take a 5-foot step back. I'll just swing on this sister.
Yeah. That is a miss. That is a miss. With the haste, you do have another attack at your full.
I saw. Okay. I guess I'll do that now then.
Man, we really need some new dice for you.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And she just screams, attacking a sister! You naughty boy! I
My-
should have whipped you to death when I could.
And my final attack.
My lord. Yeah, she's just gonna be smacking at my door with that table leg. Oh, yeah, that is one hit for 21 damage. And the one standing next to Magnus as well goes, "You must enunciate your words clearly, like a gentleman." She misses. Oh, that's a hit. And a hit for 22 bludgeoning to Magnus. It's Magnus's turn.
Magnus replies, "You leave my accent alone. I speak perfectly well." And tries to hit her with the grieving blade. "I'm no gentleman."
That's a hit. Mm-hmm.
And he will try it again. Bless you.
Yeah, that's a miss.
And he just raises his shield.
Estrella.
Yep. Estrella is taking a little 5-foot step to get a proper flanking bonus.
Yeah.
We're 27 with flanking.
That's a hit.
Finally.
Mm-hmm. That's a proper stab. Doesn't seem to be resistant to your weapons.
That is good. But it's not slashing and burning like the undead before, right?
No, it's not.
Too bad. My last action will be twist the knife, so 2 persistent bleeding.
Gotcha. That takes us to the one fighting preacher. Like, stand still, you overgrown bathtub. And that's a miss. And a miss. And another miss. Wow, okay. Edamir.
I will look at the old lady by Magnus and be like, it's pronounced enunciate, not enunciate. And I will cast, where is it? Electric arc on her and the other one.
Very well.
So basic reflex.
Yeah, they're surprisingly nimble, but you do some damage to them.
And lastly, I will move up to there.
Very well. That takes us to Preacher.
Okay. In that case, I'm presuming that I'm gonna go the fastest way to my target.
Yes, I would believe so.
I'm tempted to try and do an overhead whirling throw on that creature down towards the others, but I probably will. That's probably not something you're going to allow.
No, that doesn't sound like something we'd want happening.
Yeah. So basically, you move preacher down there, around that, and up to Zara.
Yep, that's one move.
And sorry, Zara, but here comes the pain. Let's see. And I have to do my best, right?
That is entirely correct.
Okay. 2 strikes for flurry blows.
Miss hit.
Yep, 1 hit. Smacks Sora pretty good.
And the last one is this one.
That's a miss.
Done.
The door to the chambers further in smacks open, and out strides a very, very beautiful, young-looking, red-headed lady, sneering.
Question, Shoggoth, before you do that scene. Do I get to re-roll a save, or am I...
Oh no, you're screwed.
Thank you.
Comes out sneering like, really? Can you not handle even this bunch of curse? Can't have the ritual being disrupted. The 3 out of 1. They will not allow it. You scum! Die! And she is going to place a flame blast on Eodi, Magnus, and Mador. So that will be a DC 27. I believe it's a reflex. Yep, DC 27 reflex save. How many does that thing actually strike? Yeah, so that's going to be Eodi, Mador, and Magnus being hit.
Oh, my bad.
Reflex from Eodi as well, please. Okay, so that'll be 17 fire damage to Mador and Eodi, 33 fire damage to Magnus.
Fire
It is
damage,
now.
you say?
Fire damage, indeed.
Okay. Then I'm going to subtract my fire resistance from that.
That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And that takes us to Marisol.
Yeah, without being hit by that, I'm still on fire.
Yeah. You're smoking, but no longer.
I managed to put it out. And I'm pretty pissed. So since my Iris of the Sky is still smoldering by my feet, I am gonna pull out the dwarven rifle from my sleeves. And shoot at the vampire.
Very well.
Oh, for the love of all that is holy!
You pull the trigger and it goes click.
I fixed this! I start fixing it. I have 1 action left.
Very well.
That's my turn.
That's your turn. That takes us to Zora.
Zara is going to drink a healing potion.
Very well. Once this session can be moved to 6, by the way, because Edemir's rolled 2 1s on his initiative.
It looks like Marisol's camera froze.
Yep. Pretty certain. She doesn't usually sit that still. What else is Zara going to do? While we wait for Marisol to unfreeze.
Just a test. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Okay, so it's only the camera then.
Sarah's doing math. Zara is going to then 5-foot step here.
Makes sense.
And then swing at the Nosferatu.
Go, Zara. It's your birthday. Well, it's a hit at least. And she does whammo it pretty good, all in all.
And that is an additional 4 from being weak to me.
Yep. It's now looking, it's looking pretty injured. Like one gunshot, good gunshot, could have killed it.
That's my turn.
Right. It is now the Nosferatu's turn. It is going to fly down here. Ooh. Sorry, gets her attack of opportunity.
Excited. That's not a crit. God damn it.
Misses. And then it stares deep into Edamir's eyes and says, I think you should protect me. And that's a DC 29 will save from Edamir. Nope. Tiny fox friend could not give less of a fuck about what vampires want him to do. It is Eodi's turn.
Yes. I would like to move to there.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will spin the chromatic wheel and try to do a chromatic ray at the vampire.
Gotcha.
Man, our
Or
dice
not.
just betrayed us so badly.
Your dice are not on fire currently. The vampire easily dodges the chromatic ray. I believe it's Mother War's turn.
Yep, I'm going to swing.
Gotcha.
Well, actually,
Remember-
I'm going to take a 5-foot step back
Yep.
and then swing.
Well, that's a hit. She might be surprisingly spry for a septuagenarian, but can't dodge that one. And you smack her good as well. And on a miss. We should start counting twos as well. I think you had way more than 6 of those this session.
Yep.
Now she turns to Estrella. Naughty girl! Showing her ankles in public! Swinging her great club at her.
Nimble dodge.
That's one hit. One miss, I think, with the nimble dodge. Yes. And one miss, but she does smack Estrella for 14 bludgeoning damage. The other one is shouting at Magnus, like, don't talk back to me! I can't even understand what you're saying! It's a hit. Miss. And a crit. Did you have your shield raised?
I did.
Well, that shield is now in tatters unless it can deal with 67 damage taken to it.
Nope.
And of course, the overspill of that damage goes on to Magnus. And it is now Magnus's turn.
Okay. Okay, well, Magnus's first action will be to lay on hands on himself. Okay, and the second action is going to be to say, "You're not my granny, don't tell me how to talk."
That's it.
And since his shield is in tatters, he shakes it off his arm and goes for a second attack.
That is a miss. Estrella.
Since my door has reach, is that
Yes.
none? Good.
I'm gonna say so.
But since the Vine of Roses is not doing the effect I want, she's going to switch to her Piranha Kiss again.
Wow. That costs her third attack, but the second one say
Yeah, that was a try to save, so that is 4 less, so 31.
yeah, still a hit.
33 with the flanking.
Still a hit. And some pretty gnarly damage coming out. She is definitely severely injured. I mean, she obviously should have been dead a while ago, but there's got to be some sort of magical effect keeping her alive. Right.
Don't forget the persisting bleeding.
Thank you. This lady is gonna move up to Zara. Like, when I'm done disciplining you, I'm gonna put you in a hole for so long that you forget what the sun looks like. She big ol' miss. And then she yeets her club away and swings her fist on the last one, missing on that one as well. Edamir.
I'm going to read spell Modify Memory Preacher. So if he wants to will save.
He's gonna have to.
Yeah, I don't think I have an option here. No.
Of
Nice.
course, you crit the beneficial one.
Very
Well,
nice.
That's my turn.
It is now Preacher's turn.
Well, dang it. Yeah, damn it. All right. Step after.
There's one move.
And freaking hell.
I believe the usual one is a flurry of blows.
Yes, it is. I am just pushing up the right button. Grab on a second.
That is a hit, and I believe a crit.
That is a hit and a crit.
How wonderful.
The first one drops her. Actually,
Yep.
I take that back. I do not take the electricity damage. So I have 4 hit points.
Yep. So how much damage does he do to Sarah on the second one? That one definitely drops her.
Yes.
And Preacher has one more move action, I believe, to go after another enemy of the state.
Specifically, attack the woman behind me. The command is ended.
Fair point.
I am using Martyr's Intervention on her when she dropped. That's my
Okay.
reaction.
So that halves the damage she takes.
No, whatever she takes after being put down to 1, I take.
Okay. So she was at 4 hit points.
I do
You
not
would then-
take the 4. So I took 42 damage.
30,
Minus 4 is 38.
Yeah.
So
38 to
38.
Edamir. And yeah, she's on 1 hit point, and Preacher has 1 action.
So, Sarah is still standing.
Yep.
Hi. Smack.
And that's a miss.
That is a crit miss.
Crit miss, actually. So Preacher swings at her and instead manages to hit the troll that's fighting on his side right now. I'm going to give her the regular reflex save. And she dodges that damage.
Right.
Mother Posa walks into one door and comes out another. Right next to Marisol. Let me remember. Forgot to use the thing. And she is going to speak a word, and Marisol needs to do a DC 27 Fortitude save. Right. That is a success, so Marisol is blinded until her next turn, but not for, permanent. Speaking of, it's Marisol's turn.
So I'm not blinded anymore?
No, you're blinded for this turn.
Right. I can see absolutely nothing.
That is entirely correct.
Well, I am gonna try to throw myself sideways to get out of the way, basically.
Okay. Pretty certain that's a thing you can do. Give me a DC 20 perception roll. Yeah, Marisol throws herself sideways, but has enough spatial awareness to not go into one of the pillars right next to her.
Then I will just have to wait. I'm gonna check that there is bullets in the magazine of the rifle that's clicked. While I just basically stand there on a knee.
Yeah. Luckily, Marisol's up to NATO standards when it comes to handling her firearm while blindfolded, so she does manage to reload, even though she's blind. Yes, Mador.
When this lady came up behind, wouldn't that be into my attack since I have reach?
Yeah, but she moved into a threatened square, but not out of it, so she doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity, just materializing. If she'd moved anywhere from there, it would have been one. But they need to leave a square you threaten for you to get an attack of opportunity. Speaking of attacks of opportunity, it is Zara's turn.
Excellent. Zara's going to pull a wand out of her bandolier, touch herself on the nose, and turn invisible.
Aha.
She is then going to stealth over here.
Let me check what Preacher's passive perception is.
Okay. I have a item that you might want to know about then.
Mm-hmm.
It's a if I can find it. Vigilant Eye. It's a little wooden disc, humanoid eye, painted in muted shades that blend in with the wood. The eye's pupils constantly twitches and moves, scanning its bare surroundings. Aren't flat-footed, a hidden or undetected creature of the eye's level or lower. So, I get that.
Preacher's perception is also high enough to catch Zara moving, so he does get an attack of opportunity, but with a 50% miss chance. So roll your D100 first. 40, 50 or lower means he just strikes air. Okay. Zara does manage to disengage from him. That means it's Nosferatu Bro's turn again. He's gonna fly over here. Look Estrella deeply in the eyes and say, I think you should kill the little dragon man. And that's a DC 29. Estrella is unaffected.
Whee!
Yodi, it's your turn.
Shit. All right. I would like to move to there. Sorry, Fantasy Grounds is lagging on me again.
No worries.
I am going to point blank Cone of Cold the Nosferatu chick.
Okay.
That is a DC 27 reflex save from her.
I'm working
Or
on
him,
it.
or whatever.
Okay, roll your damage. 38. That's a respectable amount of damage. For sure. She's reeling now after that attack. Actually off balance and looking very, very injured. Was almost fast enough.
And that's my turn.
Right, and then we have Mador. When you see the lady that's stepped through the portal and blinded Marisol, for a moment you can remember your earliest years of growing up, where your father always on a rack in his study that you were never allowed into, but you caught glimpses sometimes, had an armor with a deep blue paint on it and a crest of fantastical creatures that you always dreamed about. He also had a shield next to that armor, and the Mother Superior is wearing both the armor and the shield. Not the Mother Superior, but Mother Poisson.
Okay. So, is that my father's armor? Is what you're telling me?
You're pretty confident because you've never seen anything else like it.
I'm gonna swing on her with all my might.
Go for it. That is a hit. And that is a hit. That is a hit. Ooh, that's a good damage roll right there. Last one's a miss. That's 59 damage in one turn. Damn. Yeah, she reels from those 3 strikes. None of them go through the armor, but they hit more than hard enough to injure her, even though she's behind it, and she kind of wheezes out at Mador like, "Don't you think this will ever be yours? You don't deserve it." The crazy lady attacking Estrella again. I'm certain you even talk to boys.
Nimble dodge.
People like you shouldn't be allowed. You're a murderer and a tramp. That's 2 hits on Estrella for 27 bludgeoning and 12 bludgeoning.
So 39.
Yep. And the one fighting Magnus just screams incoherently at him on the first blow. Hits. Misses on the second. And misses on the third, but smacks him for 22. And it is Magnus's turn.
Okay, give me a second.
Got a frickin' fly up in here.
Okay, Magnus will lay on hands on himself again.
Hmm. As he does that, she hisses, "Stop touching yourself, naughty boy!"
I'm a grown man, sister. You don't tell me what to do. And he hits out with the grieving blade.
That's a hit. It's a good hit, too. There we are.
Okay, and for lack of anything better to do, he'll hit her again.
Oh, that's a critical.
Okay, here we go.
She's still on her feet, although that is definitely a mortal wound. It is Estrella's turn.
Yeah. Well, there is one in front of her that she definitely has to kill. So her first attack will go on that one. So 31 with the flanking.
That's a hit.
So that is
Very nice.
then she's still standing, right? So
She is.
okay, so yeah, second attack.
That is it. She's reeling, but she's still up and running.
Still up and running, all right. Doing the nah. Yes or no? Since I'm pretty badly injured, yes. When I use my point, can I walk up to the Nosferatu while drinking something?
What? I don't understand the question.
Just to not spoil the idea, I'm going to whisper to you for a moment.
What point are we talking about?
To do something very bravely and stupid, my story point. Or hero point, whatever.
Hero points sadly do not grant extra actions.
Okay, would have been, if it worked, pretty cool, but never mind then. In that case, I will just, in this round, attack a third time to finally get this one down. 28.
That's it. Just stabbing and stabbing and stabbing, and the old bird won't go down until the third hit, where Estrella finally gets her straight in the back of the head and cuts the brainstem. And she falls over. And the third one, she starts looking around. She's moving about and like, I know she's here. I can smell that blue skin. I'm gonna scrub it off. She looks like a proper human again. And she's up in this area here, looking for Sorrow. And it is Edemir's turn.
I will try to cast Disrupt Undead on the Nosferatu. So,
Right.
Fortitude save.
I was hoping for Lightning Bolt, but hey. That is a success, but it is one of the. And the Disrupt Undead hits him, and he doesn't disintegrate or anything like you've seen other undead do, but he falls down into just thousands of rats that scatter every which way. And Preacher can feel his mind returning again.
And I will then move over to here.
Speaking of Preacher, it's his turn.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I'm just gonna holler out loud some kind of old ancient oath and swearing stuff. Really emotional. And then I'm gonna run down and see if I can engage the. That's one move, and that's two.
Right. 2 moves down. Nyum.
And I'm gonna beat that thing once with a flurry of blows. Ooh, so close.
1 hit.
That's also 3 fire damage.
Mm-hmm. And it is her turn. She turns to Preacher and says, I think you should protect me. And I'm going to need a DC 27 will save from Preacher.
Mind-boggling frickin'
Oh my. And that takes us to Marisol.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot that bitch that blinded me.
Yeah, you can now see again. That's it.
Please kill it in one go.
And that's a miss, I assume.
And that is correct. She does good damage. And, but the Mother Poisson is still standing.
And 6 more.
Yes. She's reeling, but she's standing. And it is now Zara's turn.
Zara's gonna walk up here.
Nope. Right. In the chamber, she can see an elderly halfling lady tied to a black stone tablet of the black stone you make cutting things with. My mind, it is going.
Obsidian?
Yes, thank you. Black obsidian altar. She's tied to it, and you can see they've been lighting incense and painted all sorts of weird-ass glyphs around the altar. But they haven't actually gotten to the point where they've murdered her yet.
Is there anyone in this room with her?
Not currently, no.
I want to move to the middle of the room because there's no icons in here.
Yeah,
And
you
Zara
move
is going
roughly up
to-
to her.
Is she tied or shackled?
She is tied.
Zara's gonna cut the bindings off the halfling.
Yeah, she gets up, spits out a lot of wool and stuff she's had tied in her mouth, and she's like, "That no good backstabbing." And it is now Eody's turn.
Oh wee. I am going to 3-action magic missile Mother Poosin down there.
All right. 3 magic missiles streak out, and you can see 1, 2, 3 pearls on her pearl necklace turn black.
Okay.
And it is Mador's turn.
All right. But that is my armor.
That's a hit. And with that, he goes in, slips to the left so she doesn't manage to get her shield up, and just stabs her through the armpits. She falls back towards the stone column. That's what they're called. Spits some blood. He never wanted you to have it. It was me he loved. We never wanted you. And she slides down to the floor and dies.
And I still got 3 actions, don't I?
That's true.
I'm going to swing on the one right above Magus.
Yeah. That's a miss. And that's actually also a miss. And a miss. She, the one standing with Magnus, looks befuddled around. Oh dear, I seem to have misplaced my knitting. And then she falls over dead. As does the other one. That's still up. And on that note, we're 15 minutes over time as when it comes to regular, so we will call the session here, and we'll be back next Sunday to finish off the tale of the Orphanarium and see where else our intrepid heroes, the Blooming Hedges, decide to go. This video this will be up on YouTube within the next 48 hours. Join us in raiding pathfinding adventures. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be well, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.